All right, so sticking with TV now. Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery wrapped up. Unfortunately, I didn't get around to watching the full season, but I did hear that the season finale was badass though.
Pretty
As
epic.
far as Star Trek as a whole goes, I heard that it was kind of fucking incredible. So
Yes.
you'll tell me if it was or not, right?
All
But
right. So it was as I say, if you like the JJ movies, you will love the finale to this because it's a real big action set piece, and then basically it does a great job of resolving the arc itself. Um, the main season. So season two basically, well, it builds off of season one from the end of season one where they say, oh well, meet in the Enterprise, and here's why, and so and so, and they basically start the season where they meet Captain Christopher Pike, played by Anson Mount,
uh-huh.
and yeah, he was kind of like the big highlight for many people this season.
Yeah, I mean, and he's a great actor, you know.
Great actor, great, yeah. They had the outfits. I love the yellow with the kind of asymmetrical color. The classic Trek uniforms
Yes,
redone.
yes.
I
I
actually
was
like a
about
lot
to
of
say
that.
that. Yeah, very, very old school.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Um. Yeah, and I dug the hell out of this season on average. So basically, this season is one all-encompassing arc involving. Well, you don't find out until a while, like about episode 6 or 7 or so, but it's something involving Spock. So Spock has gone missing. As we know, Spock is Michael Burnham's adopted brother, adoptive
Yes.
brother,
Yes.
and so Michael has to basically address and try to find what's going on. And what you learn is that they have these signals that Spock seem to be tracking down, and you have to follow Spock and involving these signals called these red signals. And then they Spock keep talking about this figure called the Red Angel. So the story starts where they're on this asteroid, more or less the first episode where they had to go and get to this asteroid, and the asteroid is to basically address they have to find they find this engineer called I forget her name, Jet Reno, played by Tig Notaro.
All right.
She's a comedian apparently. Anyway, she was pretty funny. Good arc for everybody, and the whole arc is about this whole season is about just solving this problem involving the Red Angel and involving the signals, the 7 signals of light that they have to make sense of going forward. And yeah, this season I thought was just pretty goddamn awesome. I was going to tell you that. From
Nice,
my
nice,
opinion.
nice. Yeah.
I didn't. It still have a lot of the typical problems that I have with Star Trek Discovery. Now for me, Star Trek Discovery season 1, I generally defend it for the most part.
Yeah, I enjoyed season 1. Although, but one gripe that I had, I'm not sure if I mentioned it back then, but my one gripe was it had that sort of bingeable aspect about it. Like every
Right.
episode had to end with
Right.
with some uh, kind of anticlimactic in a way that like, oh well, you want to see what happens next? Tune into the next episode. You know what I
Right.
mean? And it was just like a bunch of
Right.
acts going on. There wasn't really anything, or at least I did. There was just so much going on, basically, right? I just felt like it was an excuse to just lead into the next episode, as opposed
Right.
to because I grew up on Star Trek: Next Generation.
Okay.
You have an episode, the problem resolve, and that's it.
Right.
That
Right.
lead
But what they
into
did,
next episode. You know?
right. Now they squared that very well in this season, in my opinion. So what this season felt like, yes, it had a linear arc. There was a linear run for going through the season. But what they did, they had individual episodes that does feel like one-offs on their own. And 2 episodes in particular really stood out for me. My personal 2 favorite episodes this season was an episode called New Eden, and that is episode 2 of the season 2.
Right.
And then episode 4 of season 2, which is probably my personal favorite episode of all of Discovery, and Obol for Charon. I thought that episode just so more or less flawless for me. And
Right.
and what goes on in that episode is basically really crucial towards what's going on the entire season. Yeah, this season. So I'll just a quick cut through of every episode and why it works and why everything I thought was pretty awesome and pretty decent, right? So episode 1, Brother. This was basically just catching back up with it, catching up with Pike coming through. Pike takes over from Captain Locker in season one. He, Captain Logos is presumed dead. They come back, they address the Klingon War stuff, and he takes over. And the reason he takes over is because the Enterprise is under distress. It had to be fixed, and they had to solve the mysterious red signal problem. So Discovery is the ship that he just commandeer to solve the problem. And because Discovery has that really useful spore drive, it could zip about the place relatively quickly.
Mm-hmm.
They solve the first problem. And this is where they meet Jet Reno. She's this surviving crew member inside an asteroid because the ship was, I think, damaged during the war, and she kind of survived the war. So as far as she was concerned, the war was still going on. But she ended up solving a problem, and then they had to find her to get her on board to solve the problem. Episode 2, New Eden. This is one of my personal favorite, directed by Jonathan Frakes. He's
yes,
top
the
tier.
one, the only. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, top tier track direction, man. They go to meet this planet, and what you learn on this planet is that these people come from the 21st century, right? These people is humans on a planet called Terra Elysium, and they come from the 21st century during World War III, right? Because in Trek, before the was founded on Earth, World War III. So for some reason, the Red Angel take these humans from this timeline, from since then, and then bring them to this time for some reason or the other. And it's a big mystery why. But then they had a big debate about whether or not this should talk to them, because they might be technically breaking the Prime Directive, and they actually balance the Prime Directive intelligently in this, because usually fuck that up in Star Trek, whatever. But still a solid episode.
Right.
Then episode 3, this is when they decide to focus on Ash Tyler and them. You learn about Empress Giorgio from season 1. She's working for Section 31 in this season, and then you learn that Section 31 is central to the main arc. Ash Tyler is brought back in the storyline. Well, Ash Tyler is known as the Klingon Vok. You learn that he has a secret child with Laurel. They had a child together while he was Vok, and the Klingon hierarchy. It was more Klingon hierarchy shenanigans. Kind of didn't like this episode. It's actually one of my least favorite episodes. But they hide away the child to another planet, right? The child, and then she takes over as the proper leader of the Klingons and whatever. What this season does, it kind of goes out of its way to address, like, quote unquote continuity problems, like why ships look like that. So they kind of address why ships look like that. So now Klingon ships look like classical Klingon ships now, and they give all these political and scientific reasons as to why the ships look like that in season 1, and now why they look like this now, and then why the Klingons look like that in season 1, and why they look like no, they look more like classical Klingons as we understand them,
right,
in Trek, right? They kind of just square and address all these little bullshit things that the fans was pissy about. Right? I wasn't too pissy about it, but I get why fans were pissy about it.
But to you, right, as a Trekkie, do those justifications make sense?
Yeah, they make perfect sense. Again, they're one-liners, and they just look like more like, hey, okay, the people pissy about it, like we just address it. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but they just did it. Whatever. Yeah, it's good. It's good enough. You're like, yeah, okay, I could accept that. I not go and nitpick stuff like that. Okay, that's the explanation. Fine. They don't break the storyline or anything like that for me. I don't bother myself about it.
Right.
Episode 4. This is probably my personal favorite episode in all of Discovery. I'm not gonna spoil the episode, but basically what happens is that Discovery, while going towards the other, because they had to find all the red signals to go to, right? While at warp, going towards there, they're stopped in the middle of warp by some giant planetoid-sized creature. And I dare not spoil what it's about or why it's about, why it's doing what it's doing, but it's like this kind of semi-intelligent creature, stopping them to help them solve the problem, to solve a problem of some sort. Or at least it's threatening them, but you're not sure what it's doing, and it have a whole thing to it. And I just really, really, really love this episode. It's so nice. And it gives a big character arc to my favorite character in the show, Saru. It does something about him, and you do a whole thing with it. It had a couple of lame fake outs here or there, but it worked for the most part. Right. Episode 5, Saints of Perfection. So they follow up a side story that was kind of implied in season 1, and they just follow it up because something is going on with Tilly, where Tilly is seeing someone inside her, like in imagination. You're not sure if it's an imaginary friend or something, if she's going crazy, and they explain this involving the mycelial network. And then, well, big spoiler here, I don't want to say it for it is, but it addresses something from season 1 that was a big controversial thing in season 1. They address it, so they come back.
All right.
They address that. Episode 6, Songs of Thunder. The follow up on basically the episode 4, what happened to Saru. This goes on to deal with Saru's arc as a character, and then they kind of address, why he should be the way he is at the end of the season. They address a lot of his storytelling. Last year, they had these like short movies involving all these characters, and one of them was involving Saru, so it follows up from that as well. Then episode 7, Light and Shadows. This is where you now start to see the story kind of starting to shape and take place. What the hell going on? What is happening? And well, I'm gonna spoil this. The main villain of the antagonist is more or less revealed at this point. You find out what's going on and why it's happening. Involving Section 31 itself, and you start to see, all right, some shit going down, some real serious shit going down, and it's a really emergency. And I really enjoyed the villain of this season. The villain of the season, the main antagonist of the season, is actually a pretty great villain in my opinion. It's something I thought I'm surprised they never really addressed per se in Trek. They kind of address it sometimes in TOS, but I thought they would have done it more, and they actually just outright like go through with it in this one. And it explains a lot of stuff. Like, again, it's ways to address continuity issues here or there. So that's why they did what they did. Right. Episode 8. Okay, this episode is a true Trek classic for the fans stuff, because I absolutely love this episode as well. Like, they make a brilliant callback to stuff involving Captain Pike. And if you're a big Trek nerd, you would absolutely love this episode from start to finish. This episode is not one of my favorites. It's a little too fan servicey, but still really good, and I like what they did with it. Right. Project Daedalus. This is when they really started to like do the exposition dump of what the fuck going down, and Spock kind of reveals himself in terms of the main storyline. I think this is when they properly introduce Spock full and outright. We get to see a lot more Spock in this one. They start addressing what was going on with him, and they address all of that. Episode 10. This is when shit hit the fan, and they reveal some really reveals of this one. This episode's called the Red Angel. You learn who the Red Angel is, and there's a big like plot misdirection involved in that. And yeah, it was pretty badass, like what they did with it. All I'll say is that when they reveal who this character was, it is absolutely perfect casting. That's all I'll say. Absolutely perfect casting of who they revealed what it was. Because it's a new bringing the storyline. Episode 11, Perpetual Infinity. So they show the big plot line, and the people of Discovery have to like start setting up their plan to defeat the villain, and what their plan is to go to the future. And then episode 12 and 13, so episode 12 is Through the Valley of Shadows, where they get one of the main plot devices to address and to defeat the villain. And then 13 and 14 is the finale, the 2-part finale. Right. And yeah, I can't be mad at this.
What about the finale?
Right. Well, I'm going to talk about the finale. Right. I can't be mad at this. This was just excellent. Almost all of it works. It have a couple of dumb moments in it. I'm gonna straight up say that. It mostly involving one of the characters, because spoiler alert, a main character dies. Or I'll say the character kind of stopped being relevant at a certain point. So like I kind of get why they had to kill off the character, but how they decide to kill off the character is really clumsy. Like really goddamn clumsy. Had a multitude of ways to save this character that they could have done. But whatever, I didn't have a big problem with it so much. Didn't kill the story too much from it. But I thoroughly love what they did with that. I really can't be mad with what they did with this in this season. This season a ton of fun. For me, it just did such a great job with what it was supposed to do going forward. In terms of the main arc, and then they did the thing that they were supposed to fucking do from season 1. They actually did the thing and pulled the trigger on it. As I say, so just the highlights for this season. I'm just gonna straight up say it. I prefer Pector Quinto as Spock. Like, they did the thing. You know what they did with Spock this season? They did the thing like what they did with Spider-Man in the MCU, which is, okay, so it's Spider-Man in the MCU. I'm one of those that didn't like the idea that they brought in young Peter, right? I either wanted them to do older Peter, like older high school teacher level Peter, that age, or Miles Morales. And the simple reason I don't want the young Peter again is because I don't want to see Uncle Ben dumbass get shoot again, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
like nobody wants to see that shit again.
yeah,
Anyway.
like we see it, enough with the reboot. But then what they decide to do with the MCU, Peter, is solid. Like I actually enjoy a lot of that. I loved them in Civil War. I really enjoyed Spider-Man Homecoming, and yeah, in Infinity War, it was great what they did with him. So I can't be mad at that, even though that's so it's one of those ideas I don't like, but very well executed. So I don't have a problem with it. And that's how they did handled that's how they handled Spock in this season. Like I don't like the idea that Spock is in this series. I personally wanted Michael Burnham to be not related to Spock. I like the idea that Michael Burnham is a ward of a Vulcan. I like that. But I didn't like her being related to Spock or being related to Sarek. If it was up to me, I'd have maybe T'Pol be the ward, like have her be the ward of T'Pol or anything like that. But with that said, Ethan Peck is really good as Spock. I really enjoyed him as Spock. This is Gregory Peck's grandson, by the way.
Oh, what? Okay.
Yeah. He's a solid actor. He's our age. He's a great presence on screen. And yeah, I gotta straight up say it. Ethan Peck better than Zachary Quinto as Spock. He's a better Spock. He's Spock.
Okay. I would love to see for myself. I mean, like I remember when the J.J. Abrams movie came out. I was like, oh my god, Zachary Quinto is Spock. Like I wasn't the biggest fan of him. It's like, he doing the role. Okay, that's cool. Modern take, all right. But I wasn't blown away by him.
Right. Right. The reason why I think I prefer Peck over Quinto is actually quite a very simple reason. Peck more feels like how Leonard Nimoy would have played, and it's one really simple reason: the voice. Quinto's voice isn't deep, so when Quinto playing Spock, he just comes across as more nerdy, nasally kind of voice, and Peck has a deep voice, and yeah, it's like Spock had a deep voice. Like, why is it they're trying to play this as if Spock is this nerdy kind of character? No, he's actually a pretty good Spock. And I thought they frankly nailed it. And I'm not going to spoil it, but it's just a big old nerdy thing they do at the ending with the fan base, where it basically does get to see Spock in his classic blues in the new outfit, and for the entire season he has a beard, and then he just shaved beard at the ending, and it was great what they did with it, and it looked great. I was like, yeah, they nailed this. I don't know if we're gonna get any more with him as Spock going forward. I have no idea. That's a possibility, but he was great. I thought he was really damn good this season, and the arc they give him really works in the context of the storytelling, because a lot of it makes sense, and like when everything is with the finale is stitched together very well, right? No spoilers. Just go in, see what they're trying to talk about. The main villain is good. The ending is epic. They have so many great callbacks. Like they have a callback to the motion picture in the final. Wow. Like, yes, like if you know what to look for, there's a shot in the ending where it's like, yeah, this is straight up from the motion picture, right? Like clearly, right? Like that's how I was feeling with it. I was like, well, wood. And I dug it. And then, as I said, Ricardo made, only, literally only wants one thing, and it's fucking disgusting, if you understand the meme. And it's post-Nemesis content. And they basically did the thing with that. So it's implied that we get in post-Nemesis content at the end of this. And I was like, all right, I'm happy with this. I can't be mad with this. Mostly because I did that. Yeah, I just really thoroughly enjoyed this season going forward. It had a couple things I didn't like. As I said with Discovery, I preferred season 2 a lot over season 1, but I still enjoyed season 1 for what it was. And yeah, for me, this is better than Voyager, better than Enterprise, and better than early TNG, right? It's still not the best Trek, right? That still goes to DS9 in my opinion. That DS9 will always be on the shelf, on the top shelf for me as of best Trek.
And that theme song though, right. I mean, yeah,
right. Yeah, but it's still solid Trek for me. This was great. I really enjoyed the finale. The finale was just a big old epic battle. Like, the Orville had an epic battle this season, and this one was just like, they were spending money, Dread. Like, I ain't gonna lie, this shit does look like a fucking movie at times, Dread. They really Dread. Like season 1, if you think season 1 was good, the cinematography in this season is excellent. They were spending money.
I mean, it's Star Trek, they're not gonna fuck around, Dread. They're gonna make it feel like a movie. I know. I got that from the first season anyway.
Yeah, and the finale really did that. Like the final big battle when you find out who versus who at the end. When it was a little cluttered. But I thought it was just glorious still. Another thing, just a quick mention. It have a couple of Nolan references in this. You know, a couple of Nolan stuff, like little Nolan moments that they clearly take from Nolan films. If you can find them, you'll see them.
Yeah,
But
I'm a Nolan fan, so I would know them when they happen.
You'll know what you'll immediately pick up. Oh shit, that's clearly from this, or at least Nolan did it first. But he borrowed from other ideas. But Nolan did it first in terms of like when you see certain shots and stuff like that. It just by the way, it's just a quick spoiler. I'll say all I'll say is that there's a big news issue. There's something in the news in terms of in the scientific community and astronomy, and that's in this. Like that's the reference I'll just see. If you know what they're coming from. That's about it. That's the only kind of quote unquote quick spoiler I'll say in terms of like where Nolan's reference is coming from. That's about it. I can't be mad at this. I really, really enjoyed this. Mostly because of the ending. The ending, if they decided to pull the trigger on this, they have a couple signs that they're not going to pull the trigger. But if they're pulling the trigger on this, I will be very, very happy because basically it's implied that Discovery is going to get something akin to a soft reboot, and they're going to do the thing that I always wanted them to do, which is post Nemesis content. Please, if they're doing that, if they decide to not do it and give us more prequel stuff, then boo. But I really hope that they stick to their guns and give us some post Nemesis content and go forward with the story as it is. I really hope Discovery gets that soft reboot and go forward with the narrative, with the ending that they do here. Because the ending was like basically stitching together and explaining away everything that all the fans and all the haters was complaining about. Right? Yeah, okay, it's a quick one-off, 1-2 lines, but that's good enough. Right? Trek supposed to be about exploration. The name of the show is called Discovery. Let's discover some shit finally. Please. It was great. I still enjoyed it. Anson Mount was great. Ethan Peck was great. All the actors were great. Special effects, awesome. Had little derpy moments here or there in the writing, but I didn't have a big problem. It's fine.
Right, so is this going to be top 10 for you as far as TV shows go for this year?
I ain't sure. I have no idea yet. I have to see the rest of the show. This so far is I've been enjoying this. I can't be mad at this. I mean, these people have gone out of their way to entertain me, especially with that finale. And I would say mission fucking accomplished. They did a great job with this. Great direction all around. Just shit was just hard. I thoroughly dug this second season for Star Trek Discovery.
All right. Well, rate it, man.
Pretty high. I'll give this like a good 8 out of 10. I just enjoyed this for what it was. I can't be mad at this at all.
All right. Well, last question I want to ask. How did the Star Trek community, I imagine on Reddit, all that, how did they take to...
Well, again, as usual...
finale?
No, it's the usual stuff. Like most people who defend the show. Other people didn't defend it. The ending the ending is good, JJ. You know what I mean by that, as in stuff are all moving fast and they do the action.
Yeah. I love that. I love that about the JJ.
Exactly. But there are people who will just constantly bitch about like some small thing. Like the episode has one moment that is genuinely a mistake. Like they really do a clumsy job of handling one thing in the plotline involving the death of a certain character. And I was like, yeah, guys, you could have do this way or this other way. Like it's usual, you could have come up with a bunch of engineering solutions to solve it in the same time period you had to address the issue, and they didn't do it. I was like, oh, well, why didn't you just do that? Whatever. That's the only mistake. It's like, yeah, they kind of duped it. But other than that, I was like, I didn't have a problem with it most of it. If you're still in the show, you'll still keep hating on the show. It's that. If you're not into it, you're not into it. But what I've noticed is that everybody who bitching about the show didn't actually watch the fucking show. That is my problem. So they keep complaining about things. They keep complaining about things that, but this don't make sense and this is so inconsistent. And it's like, yeah, but the show explained that. Like, if you did watch it, you would have known. Come on. You kind of not entering the discussion in good faith. So that is my problem. And I'm not a big stand for the show, I just watch the show, I'm watching it and I'm enjoying it. It's better than plenty Trek I watch. It's worse than some Trek I watch. It's not in the between. On average, it's actually slightly better off Trek because they have hindsight. The writers have a lot of hindsight with respect to Trek, so it's better than a lot of Trek. It's better than all of Voyager, in my opinion. I'm in that camp. Better than almost all of Enterprise, in my opinion. I'm in that camp as well. It's better than a lot of TNG, in my opinion. I'm in that camp as well. So the show, the show have its down moments, but it have a lot of great. So that's it. I defend the show for what it is.
Nice.
Surprise me.
Yeah, and as a non-Trekkie, I enjoyed the season 1, and I enjoy J.J. Abrams films. I enjoy some, if not all, of the the prior movies. Well, the ones that matter,
Right.
the ones that even numbers. I heard those ones are always the best, except
Right.
for Nemesis, right? But
Yeah. Yeah.
but
No,
yeah, but
I keep telling people that look, the reason why the JJ,
Abrams films, right?
the JJ films don't
Well,
work out
the
so
trilogy, sorry, the trilogy, yeah,
right. But what the purpose of the JJ films was just not to be like this brilliant thing, but just to save Trek. Trek effectively died, right?
yeah. I remember
Effect.
Star Wars was big in the 2000s, right? So JJ come and say, hey, well,
No,
we gotta make Star Trek badass now, and that's why you know
they had,
the first Star Trek, which came out 10 years ago, by
yeah,
the way,
forget
was
how.
what was.
But not only them, it's sort of critical failure, and the fans hated it, but it didn't make money. Like, at least make money. Like, making money and appealing to box office is one of the, in my opinion, one of the lowest, crappiest reference points to go with. But still, it's a hacky talking point. But still, come on. Like,
Yeah,
you gotta do
it's Star
make
Trek.
that work.
People want to see Star Trek. Come on,
Right. So
Yeah,
that's just, yeah. So whatever. I defend Discovery. Clearly, a lot of Discovery has its J.J. Abrams influence in it. But I dig the show for what it is. I enjoy this for what it is. It's actually a really good show. And yeah, as I say, the debate is like with early DS9. A lot of people used to shit on DS9 too, and then now DS9 went on to become, in my opinion, the best Star Trek.
yeah,
And I'm not alone in saying that. So whatever. Discovery, if Discovery does what I think it should do, and they go forward with it going forward, it will be the best, if not one of the best Trek series going forward, because you have so much exploration to do. And I said the name of the show is Discovery. Please actually discover things. So that's it. Nice to see you later.
nice. Well, great review, man. Great review. I'm definitely gonna check it out for sure. Who knows? It might make it to my top 10. Best TV
Yeah, give
shows
it a chance.
for the year.
You'll dig the hell out of it because it's good. A lot of good sci-fi.
Yeah, and that's what I want. That's what I want in the end of the day. All
Right.
right. So in closing, now we have a movie that I here's what. So here's what happened, right? I had to explain myself first, right? So I had a choice between Hellboy, the remake,
Right.
and Pet Cemetery.
Right.
Now I never saw the original Pet Cemetery, right?
Okay.
So I
Okay.
actually watched it well the day before yesterday, right? Then
Right.
yesterday got caught up with a bunch of errands, just had to go by my grandmother, help my dad out with some work, so I just didn't get any time to go cinema, right? But after watching the original Pet Cemetery, I was like, wait, this is it? This is
Yeah.
so this is like kind of shit though. So I then I
Yeah.
heard that it was a faithful remake of it. It's better, but it's the same story. And
Yeah.
personally, I just wasn't wowed by the story. I thought that they could have done so much with the story, with the concept. I was just like, yeah, I just kind of that feeling to watch over, a new version of the same story, which was just dumb, right? So I decided to go for Hellboy. Now I was hearing about 2 months or so that yeah, Hellboy is guaranteed to flop and Hellboy is gonna
Right.
suck, right? So of course early reviews come out and say the same thing. Hellboy is one of the worst movies of the year. But I
Yeah.
really wanted to go in, and because yesterday was 420, right? I just want to go in just to laugh at a bad movie now. But
Right.
unfortunately I didn't get around to it, right? But Ricardo, I know you well, yeah, clearly you saw it before 420, right? But I don't know, personally I just want to see how bad, man. The reason and I'll stop here, is that it's Hellboy dread. Like, I'm not a fan of the comics or the animated movies, but I did really enjoy, I would say, love almost the Del Toro movies.
Yeah. Me
the
too.
one, yeah, the first one. I think it's a great setup to the world of Hellboy. What I like about it too, similar to Pacific Rim, is that you could tell that he was trying things out. It's like, all right, what if I try this character here? What if this character could do this? What if we try this
Right.
little joke here and these little things, right? So if they didn't quite work out, because there were a few things in the first Hellboy movie that didn't really quite work out, right? All right, I have Hellboy 2, Golden Army, which I absolutely love. And even Del Toro will go out to the way he says is one of his favorite movies that he ever made, right? And I totally agree, right? He just took everything, all the little stuff that he was experimenting with, and just went all in. It was just, we're gonna go all fantastical and all imaginative with it. We have an elf doing kung fu, Jay. We have an elf doing kung fu with the spear thing. Like, I love that
Yeah.
one shot of the elf doing the little kata. I just love that. I could just watch that any day, Dread. But it was just such a blast. It was just such a fun movie, Dread. So of course we were like, all right, we gotta get Hellboy 3. And then it was like, well, nah, because I don't know, I just feeling to do Hellboy 3. But then he brought out Pacific Rim, and I thought, all right, well, we gotta get it soon. It's like, no, well, I just not doing it. And well, now the man is an Oscar winning director. So he's like, well, I be on this now. I be on doing, commercial stuff like Blade 2 and Hellboy and whatnot. But hey, let me give it to let me actually reboot the damn thing. Well, I don't know whose decision it was. I imagine it's some studio, I guess. So yeah, they decided to reboot the thing, get Neil Marshall to direct it, and make it R-rated. So I was saying to myself, well, all right, well, because I never read the comics or watched the animated films or remember the animated films, I was like, all right, well, this is what Hellboy is supposed to be. It's supposed to be grim and dark because, yeah, the first movie in particular was leading on that side, but it was PG-13, so it had your light-hearted moments and whatnot. It was just a blast, right? It was just so much fun, right? But with this one, I thought that, all right, we gotta get the Hellboy that was supposed to be. This is really what Hellboy is supposed to be there. And then, well, reviews start coming out. Movies trash, movies garbage, but I still wanted to see it though. But anyway, Ricardo, you saw it. Take it away. But wait, before you get into new Hellboy, what are your thoughts on the first two Hellboy movies?
Right, yeah, I dig the first two Hellboys for what they were. I don't remember loving them, but they're just good. Like they're just really good. They, costume design. Selma Blair is great in this.
Yes.
I forget who's
the world,
actor.
not I was gonna say John Hurt for a sec. William Hurt had played
William Hurt, right? Yeah.
In it as well. Well, we forgot to mention the lead himself. I thought that, well, of course he worked on a ton of Del Toro movies and whatnot, but he was near perfect in my opinion as Hellboy. And one thing in particular I really loved too was the world building, right? How they incorporate a lot of history, a lot of myths and legends, and just make it into this crazy concoction that, yeah, I know you just can't help but enjoy. You know what I mean? But yeah, continue.
Yeah, and yeah, well, of course, and then Hellboy himself, he's like, the classic, big actor to go for Hellboy. Can't go wrong with he.
Yeah, I mean, it is the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, right? Ron Perlman, and yeah, he kind of played the whole Beast character again, right? So it was perfect.
Right. And was there a TV series with him
for Hellboy?
No,
live action.
No, Ron Perlman had a Beauty and Beast show, right?
Yes, in the 80s with Linda Hamilton. Well, post Terminator 1.
Right.
Yeah, I grew up on that shit, but I don't know. Like if I just watch snippets of it now, I'll be like, wait, this was actually a thing though, like in the 80s. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. But clearly Del Toro saw that show. I was like, all right, I need to cast him in my debut movie, which was Kronos, by the way. Still a decent movie, but as we said earlier, I think when we talked about The Shape of Water, it's a debut film, so debut mistakes here there, but it's still a solid debut film, right? But yeah.
Right. And so yeah, I dug those films for what they were. Right? They were solid. The second film was just great costume stuff, and you can't be mad at any of that. And then so when they announced this new one, I was like, you don't have a good film because it was make them bullshit. You see, how you had to sell good bullshit is you had to have a good filmmaker behind it. If you don't have somebody in the level of Del Toro in terms of talent, it is going to come across like bullshit. You're going to get, well, when I see this girl in it, I was like, all right, well, I know I'm going to get some bullshit.
Yep, Mila Jovovich, or Jovovich, however you pronounce his name.
Like,
yeah. If Paul W.S. Anderson was helping this way, I'm like, nope, no. And even, I imagine the studio themselves was like, nah, boy, we had to get somebody else with more credibility. And they get Neil Marshall of all people, who, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of his work, but I did really enjoy The Descent.
Right.
And he made some decent, well, he made two of the best episodes, actually, of Game of Thrones, direct them, Blackwater and The Watchers on the Wall, one of my all-time favorite episodes. But yeah, I mean, Neil Marshall is good. He's good, but yeah.
Right. So I was like, all right, so I'm not so worried about it, but, they still could kind of F it up now. And then I started to hear the news about it. I was like, oh, boy. Worried. And I went in, and I went in with the as low as possible. Decided to get drunk, low as possible standards. And I had some fun with this. A little bit.
All
some
right.
fun. But only because I'm a state of mind. If I was in serious mental state shape, like I was going in with other movies, I'd probably really hate this bullshit.
Right.
It's bullshit. Let's just be clear about that. Movie's terrible.
Yeah.
But they had
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
bunch of decent enough ideas to say, "Way, boy, they could have do." Because there's a lot of talent. Let's be fair. Let's be fair about that. There's a lot of talent in this. So it was a little unfortunate to see them not make a better effort at this in terms of storytelling, because it had a couple moments and then had a post credit scene kind of thing. That was pretty good. And I was like, yeah, well, where was all of this? The main plot itself was okay. Like it was, well, they're doing Excalibur and, well, it's Morgana, right? That was the villain, right? Forget her
Right.
actual name. But it's basically Morgana. Like it's evil witch Excalibur shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that arc, and she want to bring back some demons, and all of that was cool. Like it had moments.
Right. What question? Did they
That
do
was
the
well.
whole? Did they do the whole thing about? Well, Hellboy is the harbinger of the apocalypse. So
Yeah, they did that.
once he joins with this, the whole thing when he has his two horns, or like when he,
Right.
no, yeah, when his horns grow back, he'll bring about the end of the world. They do that, right?
Pretty much. Because he has the capability of harboring Excalibur as well.
Oh, okay.
That's why he gets the powers.
Right. Okay. Okay.
That's what they did with it. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that ain't so bad though. This is not the
Yeah.
worst
Yeah.
thing.
I could work with that. Yeah. Yeah. Big guy.
That's what,
Big guy wielding Excalibur. I could see that. Yeah.
right, and so that's what. So and then when he wields Excalibur or delineates that power, um, he brings all the demons up, and like all of that stuff was great. Like the stuff with the demons, like well, would do that because all of that stuff was great. Like all of that violence and all that shit going down, and like, oh, this is real hard.
Yeah.
But then
I did hear that visual wise, or at least the VFX in it, the visual effects was kind of on the shit side though.
yeah, it was pretty hit or miss. But it's a budget rendering thing. Like clearly the imagination behind it worked. So all of like the set design and stuff, like what it was going for, was great. But yeah, the actual rendering of the final product was like, oh, yeah, they could have done more money. Like it's just money. Like clearly, it's just a budget thing. It's not a creative failure. It's just a budget thing. And it's a shame that you know what this was like. It was basically Pacific Rim Uprising all over again.
Ah,
that's what it was. It's that. But the only difference is that because I didn't have giant robots, I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, and admittedly, while I did not like Uprising, it was still fun, like as a Saturday morning cartoon kind of fun.
Right. So the sad part is that it falls into the trash with my kind of trash thing domain, but because it's not my kind of trash, it's just trash. But I can imagine people out there who would be, it's their kind of trash. Because if into the Eldridgean, Lovecraftian demon stuff, you would love it. Because they have some really good moments in this. They had like some real violent moments. And like, yeah, this, like if I was a fan of this stuff and this kind of style, and I would have loved this. It's really a shame to get a better filmmaker to sit down with this, or at least the filmmaker good, but like he doesn't business.
Yeah. But question, the whole R rating work, right, in terms of the violence and the language and stuff, like it works in the world of Hellboy, or it just felt too forced?
No, well, it halfway. I mean, some of it is more, we just doing edgelord, we just need to be badass kind of stuff. But other stuff, it was fine. And again, I'm more cracking up in not so much as the 420 timing of it, but more, well, all of this going on Eastern. Like, okay, love.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I have to hate it because I should say, let me put it like this: I don't hate it, but it sucks, and because I don't have my sensibilities as what it's supposed to do, I can't like it either. And it didn't feel like a complete waste of my time because it had like a lot of creative ideas here, like a lot of talent was involved in this. It's just a shame they couldn't stitch this together better. It's kind of bullshit. Right. I have to give it a low score.
Yeah, take it away.
I still give it a low score. It getting a really low CC8. Get a CC8 low one. But I can imagine somebody liking this kind of. But yeah, I can imagine some people just real hitting and jumping on this one. Harbor is okay, but it just kind of fall flat. His performance isn't special.
What about well, I mean, Ian McShane could do no wrong, I guess. But what
Oh.
about or was he bad?
He was just there, phoning it in. Just
Right,
phoning it in.
which he could tend to do at times, and no offense, he could tend to phone in his performance, right?
Right.
What about Miss Alice from Resident Evil?
Right, she was pretty bad. And look, it have a pun involving her at the end. Like, oh my god, they did not just say that. But it's a really bad pun. Like when they defeat her, I was like, oh, are they fucking doing this? Like, are they serious? Editing was a mess. Everything just didn't gel together. It didn't work in almost every way, but just can't get myself to truly hate it. So CC it. It didn't get the outright bullshit terrible, but it's still really bad, sadly.
Right.
Unfortunately. It's one of those that really they could have spent more time on it. They can already spend more time on it. But whatever.
Or maybe they just need Del Toro's presence. Like he just needs to be there and talk to them, and they could get more inspired to put out some better. I don't know.
But that's the thing, is that again it's like with the Pacific Rim thing now. It's like, yeah, you could have sit down and get somebody to sit down and make a better job of the narrative now. But they didn't try. Or they didn't seem to. So that's it.
Such a shame. That's such a shame.
Yeah, it's such a shame. It's a shame.